The year is 1769, and on a small Mediterranean island called Corsica, a child is born who will one day stand over the bodies of kings, reshape the borders of Europe, and write his name into eternity. His mother, Letizia, cradles him in a modest stone house while cannons echo in the distant hills. The island has just been sold to France by the Republic of Genoa. The baby boy, named Napoleon Bonaparte, enters a world of conquest before he can even speak. He does not know it yet, but he will become the most feared and admired man of his age. This is not just the story of an emperor. This is the story of how one human being defied every limitation placed upon him, rose from nothing, conquered everything, and then lost it all. This is the reconstruction of Napoleon Bonaparte, a life lived at the edge of glory and ruin. Napoleon's childhood is spent in the shadow of occupation. Corsica is wild, mountainous, and fiercely independent. His father, Carlo, is a lawyer who shifts allegiances to survive. His mother is stern, disciplined, and cold. She raises her children like soldiers. Napoleon grows up small, thin, and Italian-speaking in a world that now belongs to France. He is mocked by wealthier French boys when he is sent to military school on the mainland at the age of 9. They laugh at his accent. They mock his poverty. But while they play, Napoleon reads. He devours books on history, mathematics, and warfare. He memorizes the campaigns of Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. In the frozen dormitories of Brienne, he learns that the world does not give you power. You take it. At 16, Napoleon graduates and becomes an artillery officer. He is brilliant with numbers, obsessed with angles, trajectories, and timing. But France is unraveling. The revolution erupts in 1789. The king is beheaded. The streets of Paris run red. Old nobles flee or die. The entire structure of French society collapses. In this chaos, Napoleon sees opportunity. He is no longer just a poor Corsican boy. He is a soldier in a nation that needs soldiers. In 1793, during the siege of Toulon, he positions his cannons with such precision that the British fleet is forced to retreat. He is promoted to brigadier general at the age of 24. He tastes glory for the first time, and he is hungry for more. By 1796, Napoleon is given command of the army of Italy. His soldiers are starving, barefoot, and unpaid. But he speaks to them not as a distant general, but as a man who understands their suffering. He promises them victory, wealth, and honor. He tells them that beyond the Alps lie the riches of Italy. They believe him. He leads them across frozen mountain passes, through snow and ice, into the fertile valleys of northern Italy. Town after town falls. Austrian armies, larger and better equipped, are outmaneuvered and crushed. Napoleon does not fight like other generals. He moves faster. He strikes where the enemy is weakest. He creates confusion, panic, and fear. Within a year, he forces Austria to sign a peace treaty. He returns to Paris not as a soldier, but as a legend. But fame is a dangerous currency. The French government, called the Directory, fears him. They see in his eyes the glint of ambition. So they sent him to Egypt in 1798, far from Paris, far from power. Napoleon takes 40,000 men and sails across the Mediterranean. He tells them they are following in the footsteps of Alexander. He conquers Cairo. He stands before the pyramids and tells his men that 40 centuries of history look down upon them. But Egypt is a trap. The British destroy his fleet. His army is stranded. Disease spreads. The desert is merciless. Yet even here, Napoleon maintains control. He studies ancient Egypt. He brings scholars and scientists. He commissions the discovery of the Rosetta Stone, but he knows he cannot stay. In 1799, he abandons his army and secretly sails back to France. It is an act of betrayal, but also of survival. Paris is in chaos again. The Directory is weak, corrupt, and hated. Napoleon arrives like a storm. On November 9, 1799, he stages a coup. Soldiers surround the government. Legislators flee. Within hours, Napoleon is named first consul of France. He is 30 years old and now controls the most powerful nation in Europe. But he does not call himself king. Not yet. He is smarter than that. He speaks of liberty, equality, and the revolution. He stabilizes the economy. He creates the Napoleonic Code, a legal system that still influences the world today. He makes peace with the Catholic Church. He opens schools. He builds roads. He makes France functional again, and the people love him for it. But peace bores Napoleon. In 1804, he crowns himself Emperor of the French in Notre Dame Cathedral. The Pope is there, but Napoleon takes the crown from his hands and places it on his own head. The message is clear. He answers to no one, not even God. His empire grows. He defeats Austria and Russia. At Austerlitz in 1805, a battle so perfect it is studied in military academies to this day. He dissolves the Holy Roman Empire, an institution that had lasted 1,000 years. He places his brothers on the thrones of Spain, Holland, and Westphalia. He marries Marie-Louise, the daughter of the Austrian emperor, and fathers a son. He is no longer the poor boy from Corsica. He is the master of Europe. Yet the higher he climbs, the more enemies he makes. Britain will not surrender. Spain erupts in guerrilla warfare. And in 1812, Napoleon makes the decision that will destroy him. He invades Russia with over 600,000 men, the largest army ever assembled. At first, the campaign seems unstoppable, but the Russians refuse to fight. They retreat, burning their own cities as they go. Napoleon reaches Moscow in September, but the city is empty and in flames. He waits for the Tsar to surrender. The Tsar does not come. Winter arrives early. The temperature drops to 30 below zero. Horses freeze to death. Men eat their boots. The retreat begins. Of the 600,000 men who entered Russia, fewer than 100,000 return. Napoleon's legend is broken. Europe smells blood. Prussia, Austria, Russia, and Britain unite against him. In 1813, at the Battle of Leipzig, Napoleon is defeated. His empire collapses. His allies abandon him. In April 1814, he is forced to abdicate. The victors send him to Elba, a tiny island off the coast of Italy. They think it is over. They are wrong. Within a year, Napoleon escapes. He lands in southern France with a handful of men. King Louis XVIII sends an army to arrest him. But when the soldiers see Napoleon, they do not fire. They kneel, they cheer, they follow him. Within 3 weeks, Napoleon is back in Paris without firing a shot. It is called the 100 Days. But the world will not let him win. At Waterloo, in June 1815, Napoleon faces the Duke of Wellington and a combined British and Prussian force. The battle rages all day. Napoleon comes close to victory. But the Prussians arrive just in time. His army breaks. He flees the field. It is his final defeat. This time, the British take no chances. They send him to Saint Helena, a remote volcanic island in the South Atlantic, thousands of miles from anywhere. He will never leave. On Saint Helena, Napoleon is a ghost. He lives in a damp house called Longwood, surrounded by British guards. He dictates his memoirs. He argues with his captors. He relives his battles in his mind. He is slowly poisoned by the wallpaper, the food, or perhaps by boredom itself. On May 5, 1821, at the age of 51, Napoleon Bonaparte dies. His last words are unclear. Some say he whispered France. Some say army. Some say Josephine, the name of his first wife, the only woman he ever truly loved. But death does not end Napoleon. His body is returned to Paris in 1840 and placed in a massive tomb at Les Invalides. Millions visit it every year. His legal code governs nations. His military tactics are taught in every war college. His image appears in paintings, films, and now, artificial intelligence reconstructions. Technology allows us to see his face as it might have truly looked, not frozen in marble, but alive, breathing, thinking. These reconstructions remind us that he was not a myth. He was a man of ambition, brilliance, cruelty, and vision. A man who believed he could reshape the world, and for a time, he did. Napoleon's legacy is not simple. He spread the ideas of the French Revolution across Europe, ending feudalism in many places and inspiring movements for freedom and equality. Yet he also crowned himself emperor and waged wars that killed millions. He built schools and legal systems, but he also built empires on the backs of conquered peoples. He was a liberator and a tyrant, a genius and a gambler, a hero and a villain. History does not allow us to choose one side of Napoleon and ignore the other. He contains multitudes, and that is what makes him eternal. Today, in an age of artificial intelligence and digital resurrection, we can look into Napoleon's reconstructed eyes and ask what he saw. Did he see glory, or did he see the cost? Did he believe his wars were worth the oceans of blood, or did he lie awake at night, haunted by the faces of the dead? We will never know, but we can learn. We can see in his rise the intoxicating power of ambition. We can see in his fall the inevitable limits of human control. We can see in his life the dangerous truth that one person, given enough will and opportunity, can change the world, for better and for worse. The reconstruction of Napoleon is not just about technology or history. It is about memory. It is about how we choose to remember those who shaped our world. It is about the stories we tell and the lessons we draw. Napoleon wanted to be remembered. He once said, "Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever." He made certain he would never be obscure. His name echoes through the centuries, carried by the wind of battle, the ink of law, and now the pixels of machines. He is a reminder that history is not made by those who wait, but by those who dare, and that every empire, no matter how grand, is built on the bones of those who came before, and will one day crumble into dust, leaving only stories behind.